position or situation because you were around people who missed and you were absolutely elated, but you had to contain it, and because you didn't want to go, yay, we made it, and then realise that the person next to you hadn't. So very subdued, but inside absolutely elated. Best memories are team memories, but in saying that too, the games, the wins, the World Championship won in '87 because it was 4 years of remembering losing it in '83. So a group of us had been in that '83 team, and huge amount of resolve that we would win it the next time.
Get our angles right.
The sort of coach I was changed early on, particularly at provincial level. I probably was pretty vocal, was pretty hard on the umpires too, and then moving into the Silver Fern role, I think I tapered that a bit, and certainly in the assistant coach role I felt my own confidence and style changed, and I felt that I was more a sit back, have a look at what's happening and not actually reacting and jumping up and down. That was not productive. It's really being able to keep your emotions level, and probably toward the end of my coaching at that high performance end, and certainly now when I coach at club level or school level, it's sit back and have a look at what's happening out there and be reasonably calm. Yeah, I'd love to play the modern game. I just would love that competitiveness, the ability to play top games week in, week out. Because when I was playing for the Silver Ferns, we played sometimes every 2 years. In the latter ends, we were playing more frequently, but they were the best competitions. And just getting out there and putting not just yourself physically against your opponent, but mentally too. And I would love that now. I'd love to be involved now. The skills for a wing defence are knowing what your role is, clearly knowing your role in the defensive unit. And sometimes it may seem like a backward or a lower key role, I guess, but you're vital, because if you're marking that wing attack and you're doing your job, you're cutting down that main supply line into the circle, and that makes those circle defence get the glory. But not really. I love that feeling of part of a unit and contributing to the unit, and if the goalkeeper or the Tracy Fair or Waitamanu got the intercept, I felt every bit as excited for them as they themselves.
When I was first named in the Silver Ferns, I was a student at Otago University, and I remember flatting my lovely Dunedin flat, and I think that the team was going to be announced on the radio from memory. It was about 95, 96, and I remember being too scared to listen to the radio, so I remember going to the movies to try and sort of avoid the fact that I might not have made the team. But when I came out of the movies, my brother had left messages for me to say that I made the team, so I was pretty happy. I think it was, more that I'd finally made it than surprised. I knew I would be coming close to making it, and I guess you just hope that your name's going to be there, but you never know. You never take it for granted. That being named the first time is really special, and it's really exciting, and I was ready for it. I don't think being a captain made that much difference to my performance. I think I always would play the same game, no matter whether I had captaincy strapped to the end of my name or not. I think, it was an addition to your role, but I don't think it should have, or I hope it didn't ever have an effect on me just doing my own job first. Injuries in netball are probably, every netballer has them, and I think the biggest thing is dodgy ankles, dodgy knees, and I've had my fair share of those. I rolled so many ankles, and to this day I'm still being hampered by dodgy ankles, and my knees as well. I had a real problem in my latter years with a degenerative problem in my knees, and that meant I had to sort of moderate and adapt my training to make sure that I was, sort of still being able to get up and run in the morning. But frustrating, injuries.
And the Silver Ferns are runners-up once again, Australia, world title holders.
1999, the big loss by 1 goal, and yeah, it was just absolutely devastating and took a long time to get over it, years and years without having to think about it or having to play netball and not carry that burden of losing that match on your shoulders. And yeah, immediately after the game was just really traumatic and emotional, and I remember coming away and hiding in bed for 3 days, just sobbing. But yeah, it was a really challenging time, and you know, I guess they like to say that, you know, you learn from things like that. But yeah, at the time it was really tough. My best netball memory, and there is so many because netball has just given me so much, but probably the win in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne. I remember for the first time at the end of that game actually having a real sense of jubilation, and I think a lot of that for me was not only had we beaten Australia and won the gold medal, and you know, it was a hard game and all that sort of stuff, and performed well. But I had made a lot of sacrifices to get there, to get back into netball. I'd had my first child and been living overseas, and so I think it was a real accumulation of all those things. But yeah, that was one of my favourite netball memories.
Great pass there from Seymour, straight through into Colin.
I think the thing that kept me involved in netball was that I just love to play. I love the challenge of the game and the skill level, the speed of it, and I love to win. I was very competitive, and yeah, just got great satisfaction and this great desire, and having to get out there and have a good tussle and come off on top, and nothing compares to the Australian-New Zealand battles, and they were always, humdingers and great favourites to be involved in.
Athletes, and also just competition and just the thrill of winning and winning for your country, your family and friends, those players that have played before you, who are going to play after you. It's just a huge honour to be playing in the black dress alongside such gifted netballers is just a huge thrill, and it's like an addiction.
Captaincy came to me in a very odd sort of way. I was named vice captain when I was quite young still as well, and I had been in that team as vice captain, but our captain was injured, so I took over the role in a kind of caretaker type way first, and then the next tour I was made captain. So being quite young, and there were a lot of players older than I was, so I had to really try and lead by example the best I could. There was no training then, nobody told you how to do it. Tried to stay calm, tried to help other people, tried to represent us well in other environments off the court, as well as be the best you could be on the court. So, as I said, lead by example. The role of centre in netball is an interesting one because it's a link between the two ends, the defensive end and the attacking end. But people play centre in different ways, so that they either link by taking ball and distributing it, or they link by clearing space for the ball to travel through, or the link happens between other people and they support it. So it's quite an art form to play in the mid-court to try and create space and create ball travelling space through the court. So centre, and it's a high demand position for fitness. It's people move most of the time, and people have got to be good at both attack and defensive options in their game.
Dunedin Stadium venue for the first of 3 tests against All England, and for the New Zealand girls as they get the feel of the place, all the comforts of netball indoors.
Some surfaces are boards and it's reasonably slippery, but the surface in Dunedin Stadium is uniturf and it's very, very good to play.
And you enjoy playing
it's
indoors?
Really exciting to play inside, and it's certainly something that we've got to look to in New Zealand netball.
Moving from outdoor to indoor was fantastic because the whole game kind of settled and changed, and it wasn't so weather dependent. And the scores all went up, for example, and the shooters, I'm sure, were just thanking everybody for doing that. We'd been playing indoors overseas a lot before we actually went indoors in New Zealand, and New Zealand didn't have big facilities that they could hold test matches indoors. In England, for example, there's one indoor facility that holds 20,000, and so for the actual team who had been playing away, it was a really great thing, but we were also semi-expecting to be able to do that. In New Zealand, however, it was quite different. So the game was different. It meant that we had to have different shoes, different equipment, and we went, for example, indoors, and it's consistent now, the sprungwood floors, but I can remember one tour in England, we had 16 days of play in 12 different surfaces in that 16 days, and so one pair of shoes doesn't do that. So, you know, there was a lot of thinking had to go on as soon as we moved indoors.
Across to Parker, to Gibbs, back to Parker.
I played in the time when we changed from being not known at all to having some form of television, and going right through that time from spasmodic and delayed television right through to prime time TV, test series, test matches live. So for all of us that was a huge change, and we had to be quite different people at times that we didn't have the skills sometimes, and so we just had to cope the best we could. There was never any training for us to be able to do that, and so I'm sure we made big mess ups as well as did some things right, and that was an interesting change.
My first memory of netball would be when I was 7, when I first started playing netball, and I was at my nan's, and I used to wake up in the morning, have a bath and sit down and watch Fraggle Rock before I actually went to the netball court. So it wasn't actually on the netball court, it was actually the things that happened before.
And it is full time. New Zealand have handed out a good old-fashioned lesson to the Australians.
My best memory of netball would be in South Africa when we beat Aussie for the first time. Well, the first time I had beaten Aussie, and it was just a one-off test. And then obviously the world champs in Jamaica in 2003. Amazing, amazing times. And it just like standing on the podium and getting the medal around your neck just kind of made you realise how much you'd given up, or you chose to give up. And yeah, hard work does pay off in the end.
But there she is, the little pocket-sized battleship.
Really a crowd favourite, the darling of the crowd, so to speak.
They loved her, Tema Barra-Clark.
What drives me to play netball, or to participate in netball, is I've got this huge passion, I've found out. I mean, I've been in teams and out of teams, and in the Silver Ferns and out of the Silver Ferns, so I put it down to passion and just the love of the game, I think, and just always wanting to be better than I was before. So yeah, passion, I think. Yeah, I became a mum at a pretty young age, and I was involved in netball. Yeah, I think it did change me. I think it made me become more responsible. And I think my time management got heaps better. Obviously, you've got to, arrange babysitters and things like that. But also made me stronger. I think, there's worse things in the world as opposed to, throwing a bad pass or, getting knocked over in netball and things like that. So I think it made me stronger mentally and physically when I'm actually out there on the court. Yeah, I had the amazing opportunity to be involved with Dancing with the Stars, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun, but on the other hand, it was pretty hard. We trained 7 hours a day, 7 days a week, in high heels, so that was pretty hard for me. However, I think it did help my netball. One of the biggest things that my team kind of noticed was my posture. Usually I sit on the bench and like watch the game like this, but I'd sit on the bench with my shoulders back. and it was a bit contagious too because the rest of the girls were doing it. And the other thing that probably helped was Dancing with the Stars, and dancing training was more kind of like a Pilates kind of exercise where it strengthened the muscles and gave you good posture and things like that. So being out on the court getting knocks and that, my muscles were ready for it because of Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, any young girl who wants to be a silver fern is fantastic. They've already gone past the first step. You know, they've got a goal, they've got a dream and stuff. So I think the biggest thing is to have your goals, to have a role model, and just to keep going until you achieve those goals. You know, in my career, I kind of was told that I'd never be a silver fern because I was too short, but I proved them wrong. You know, I just kept going, and you know, I kind of rallied up the people around me who could give me the advice to do it, like the trainer, nutritionist, all those kind of things that are readily available for the youngsters these days, and just use it to the best of your ability really, and just keep going, never give up.
And the winner of the Senior Māori Sportswoman of the Year is Temepara Clark.
There are a few reasons why I love netball. First of all, obviously I have a burning passion about the game. You meet amazing people. I've got lifelong friends through netball. The challenges you face on the court, you know, because netball's changing now, and the challenges you face off the court as well, because it makes you become a strong person. And also you get to travel to some amazing places as well, and you get to see a world with friends around you, you know. So yeah, I think those are the reasons why.
My first memories of netball are playing on grass courts in Canberra. I'm Australian. Yes, amazing grass courts, and we actually used to wear our socks over our shoes at times when it was really slippery. But yeah, that's probably my earliest memory. Back in the day, when the Silver Ferns were named, all the trialists were brought into a room, and the president of New Zealand Netball at that time used to call out the name. And it used to be in alphabetical order. So I remember the first time I trialled, I didn't make it, and I thought I must listen out for fear, and it was Forsyth, and it was all over with. And then the second time I trialled, I made it. So it was in a room with every other trialist, the ones that made it and the ones didn't. So it was pretty harsh back in those days. The 87 World Champs team was really special, and I think that came from, we had a soul-searching build-up, and we were in London, and we all sat around and we divulged our greatest weaknesses and our strengths, and heard from the rest of the team. So I remember telling my teammates what I found hardest to mark about them, and they did the same, and it was a very soul-searching moment, and I think by the time we'd finished that, we were prepared to do anything to win that gold medal. And I think the other aspect of it was that there was a core of players that had suffered defeat in Singapore in 1983, and the commitment from that core group of players to just make sure we didn't lose the next time round was most definitely a really strong feeling in that team. I think the game has still got to be fun. Doesn't matter whether you're professional or amateur. If you don't love it and it's not deep down there in your heart as something you're passionate about, you won't have fun. And I think the team these days, fun is a high priority, and you can see just being together and achieving goals is something that they gain huge enjoyment out of. So fun's definitely still there, and I think as long as all the values and the team culture are very much a part of it, it doesn't matter whether you're professional or amateur, it's still going to be one hell of a team. For me, it's definitely a game for life, and what I love about it is the team aspect. It's the people you meet along the way. I get to work with inspiring women on a daily basis, and it's not just the players and the management, it's all the people that are involved in helping the team be the best they can be, and truly magical women.
Congratulations to both sets of players on a great afternoon.
A young player that wants to be a Silver Fern, you have to be passionate about it, you have to be single-minded and prepared to do whatever it takes to develop. So you have to be proactive, you have to be prepared to work hard, and you have to have some great support around you to be able to reach that goal.
And Tracy Fair here, who's just popped a bottle of champagne over here. I think that's wonderful. Congratulations, Tracy. Should we have the champagne? How does it feel?
Feels great. I just like to tell New Zealand we've got the best coach in the world too. She really, and thanks for all the telegrams and the support. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you, New Zealand.
My first memory is playing for my under-9 school team, and it was on a grass court and we played barefoot, and it was in winter, so we had massive frosts and my feet would be absolutely frozen and trying to play netball. So you slipped and slide everywhere, but yeah, great fun. I picked New Zealand because the first time we arrived in New Zealand, it was in Wellington. In Wellington, it was just a beautiful day in Wellington. You had the water on the one side, the hills on the other side, and it was just a clear, clear day. And I said to my friends, this must be the closest to heaven you'll ever get because it is absolutely gorgeous. And I really loved the culture and the people of New Zealand. It really made me feel at home, and it is just really important to actually feel comfortable in the environment you're at. To the South African team, the Silver Ferns set the benchmark. They were, in our eyes, the best team in the world. And beating them was just incredible. It was like we've actually won the world champs. The next game against Australia was just purely formalities. It felt like we've beat the best in the world.
To the Silver Ferns, you're absolutely amazing. You play brilliant netball. Good luck for your preparations to the world champs, and just don't let the Aussies eat you.
We played against South Africa in the year 2000. That was the same year I was selected the first time for the Silver Ferns, and it was actually in South Africa. I can remember singing the New Zealand anthem and feeling quite stoked about it, and then as soon as the South African anthem started, I kind of had that, that emotion that was just overwhelming. And I can remember Yvonne stood next to me and she just held on to me and she gave me that extra hard squeeze, and it was like, I'm here with you. And I realised then I need to be strong because this is the rest of my future, and I had to go out there and play with confidence as well. So yeah, it was quite hard. Come on, let's go. I love coaching young girls because they are just so acceptable, like they are like little sponges. They take in everything you say, and I don't know if it's because I'm this tall, but they really listen and they're really eager and they go hard for everything, and they soak up everything you say. And because you're a Fern as well, they kind of put you on that little pedestal, and whatever you say, the mother could have said the same thing for about 20 times, it won't sink in. But coming from like a Silver Fern or me, it just sinks in straight away, and it's like, yes, that is what it said and that is how it should be done. So yeah, absolutely loving to coach kids. I love this game because it's incredibly competitive. It is skillful, and it is the best players in the country that compete against one another. So you show off your skills every week, week in and week out. You show your skill against the best in New Zealand and the best in Australia.
From the last World Championship, about 5, and they didn't ever want to be beaten by Australia again. And so I do think you take into that a work ethic. I could have had a training session for an hour, a lot of ball work, sure, but it was our fitness program at the time. We never had fitness people telling us what to do. And we would sit down just quickly beforehand, delegate certain people to run certain sections. They'd run an hour and a half program and I wouldn't have to say a word. They knew where they wanted to be.
What a tribute to her. She just, that little grin says it all.
Well, Murray, my husband, and my 3 sons were great for me. I certainly wouldn't have gone anywhere in the sport, in any sport, without them. They were marvellous. They all suffered a little bit, and I would ring Murray at any time. In the good old days, there wasn't the same phone system, and I said, I don't mind. What?
First memories of netball would be in Toko or Tokomaru Bay, and I remember having my uniform ready for Saturday on a Wednesday and just loving getting down to play, and just loved it. Just looked forward to it every week, and or every week for the weekend, playing with my friends. I just loved even back then, I loved the running and the jumping and the anticipation and the defending, and just loved the physical aspects of the sport. My reaction when I first made the Ferns, it was 1985, but I'd actually been trialling for 3 years prior to that, and hadn't made the team, obviously, because I didn't get until 85, but I didn't care. I honestly didn't care about not making the team. I think I wanted to hear my name called out, but I was just so happy playing alongside the national team and developing players. I really didn't care. So when my name was finally called out, I thought, whew, finally made it. Took a while, but I finally made it.
Good. Running, you're gonna run and start running.
I don't think you play sport to be in the public eye, but when you reach elite level, obviously there's that following, and I think you do have a certain duty to front up and answer questions and be there, be available. And in my experience, the media people were great. The promotions that I did for different product, again, great people to work with. I enjoyed it. I'd like to think they had my best interests at heart, and they were fun. There were some really fun opportunities that I had. Magazines and getting all flashed up, and it was really good fun and mostly good experiences. Most of them really good experiences. When I ruptured my Achilles in 1988, it was the last game of a series against Trinidad and Tobago. I think it was the last quarter, and it just felt like someone had shot me in the back of the leg, or the opposition had given me a boot in my heel. And when I looked at my heel, I couldn't move my foot. I knew exactly what I'd done. So I wallowed in self-pity for a little bit. It didn't hurt at that stage. It hurt initially, but it just hung there. And I think I was just tired. It was a physically demanding game. We did a great job. We were well ahead. It was the end of a series, and we'd won by that stage.
Not very steady, but at least she's there on her feet.
Never even crossed my mind that I wouldn't play again, or just got on with it, got fantastic treatment on it. Really, really fortunate that I got the best to repair it, and good care afterwards. And I did it on the, I think it was the 11th of May, somewhere around there, and I was back running in July, and I went to nationals in August, so it didn't really hold me back too much. That tag of best in the world, I don't think you think about it. You go out there to do your best, you're playing in a team. But I think when you, like today, look at someone like Sherelle McMahon or Casey Williams or Irene van Dijk, and and just the quality of their performance. And while I didn't think about it, I think I must have had something like that for that to be said. So there were not so memorable games where certainly wasn't the best in the world, but to know that you have those qualities, and I think everybody works hard to develop those qualities, and I'd like to think I did. And it's a neat feeling, like when I look at someone like those netballers that I just mentioned, and you look and you think, wow, that's the best, and to be in that is really neat.